All right, let's take a look at the integer star review. So looks like we have the thermometer and we're looking at temperatures here in degrees and which one is less than both of these temperatures. So, okay, so just for example, the thermometer, so let's say this is 0 degrees here and then going down. So this is -1, -2, -3. Okay, so if we're going down, the temperature is going to be less. And if we're going up, the temperature is going to be greater. So if we look at 1.6, we're going to go up 1. And so that's probably 1.6. And we got -1, 2, 3. And that's probably -3.4. So take a look at your answers. So what temperatures would be down here, which is less? Okay, and so which point best represents the ordered pair? So the ordered pair is going to be x first and then y. So x is 2. So here we have x is 2, and then y is -5.5. Okay, so we're going to go x is 2. Here's x. We're going to go 2, and then y. So y, we're going to go all the way down here to -5.5. So we're looking at x is +2, y is -5. Okay, so taking a look at the integer rules here. So it looks like we have order of operations. So we're going to multiply. So we got 5 times -6. So 5 times 6 is 30. And when we have a positive and a negative, and you have a negative and a positive, and then you're multiplying, the negative of a positive would give us a negative answer. So when the negative and positive are their opposites, opposites are going to give us a negative. So we got -30. So that's -30. And now we're done with that. So now we're going to add. So we have -30 and -7. And we are adding. So if these are the same, negatives and negatives, if they're the same, then we're going to add the numbers and keep the sign. Okay, and so George wrote an integer. The opposite of the integer, the opposite was -53. Okay, so -53, the opposite is 53. So, and then the absolute value is just the number. So these little symbols mean absolute value. So we just take that away, and so that is 53. So the integer is 53. It would be 53. The integer has an absolute value of -53. No, absolute value is never negative. So the integer is -53. No, that's the same thing. The integer has an absolute value of 53. Okay, so the integer is 53 and the absolute value is 53. So those two are correct. Okay, so the x coordinate only, it doesn't say xy, x coordinate only of point P. So I'm going to go over here to point P and go over here to the x coordinate, and then we're going to graph that, and that's going to be okay, and put whether it's positive or negative, and then put the number decimal 00. Okay, so we're taking a look at here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps. So we got -2 times 4 equals -8. So here, -2 plus -8 is -10. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. That's a negative. And 0 minus 8. So add switch is +8. Okay, so I'll read the expression. So we have 4 times -2 equals -8. Okay, so we're going to have to evaluate each expression here. So subtracting integers. Subtracting a negative is the same. So as subtracting a negative is the same as adding the opposite. Okay, so right here, add switch, add switch, add switch, add switch. Okay, so now we follow our order of operations. 8 plus 3 is 11. So 8 plus 3 is 11, and 33 divided by -33 is going to be -11. Okay, so it looks like -3 plus -2 is -5, and 8 plus -1 is going to be 7. So 2 times -6 is -6 times 2, so we get -12 plus 15, and then we have -5 times 2 is -10 minus 12. Okay, and we're going to add switch. So add switch. So which one equals -22? Okay, add same sign. So negatives and negatives, you can add them. Okay, so -12, -5. So we're going to add these two, so it's -17. All right, so negatives and positives subtract. Okay, and so we got this, we got that. So now we have +3, and we're going to subtract, and then keep the sign of which one you have more of. Okay, coldest is going to be negative, warmest going to be positive. Okay, so most negative to most positive. Okay, so you're going to put them in order from negative to positive. Okay, so the origin is going to be 0, 0. So here is 0, 0, and we're going to go 4 units left. So we're going to go left and then 2 units below. 2 units below. So we're going to go negative 4, which is left, and then negative 2, which is below. So we're going to solve the equation. We do inverse operations. So here we have x and we have negative 100. So the inverse of negative 100 is going to be positive 100. Okay, so do the opposite on the other side. So we have 100 minus 90. So positive 100 minus 90 to solve. Okay, so last one, we're going to use order of operations, PEMDAS. Okay, so we're going to look at parentheses here. So here we have parentheses, so we're going to start there. And then inside the parentheses, we have multiplying and multiplying. Okay, so step 1, step 2, that's going to be 10 and 4. So we're going to rewrite this. Okay, so we're still here. We're still at parentheses. Okay, so we have adding. Okay, so that's going to give us 26 plus 14 plus 3. Okay, so rewriting this, we got 50 minus all of this. Okay, so we're going to put all this together here. And then the last thing you're going to do is 50 minus this.